Hey, what is up guys, it is Zulfur here. Today I'm going to start a new thing that I've been wanting to start for ages, a series called How Things Work. So the gameplay in the background is of Minecraft. I decided to build like a dwarf stronghold in inspiration of Yog's cursor, Shin, who is building Erebor from Lord of the Rings. So I was going to sort of build a miniature scale. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. So fiber optic cables, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what they are. It's basically for high-speed broadband and high-speed phone calls. So obviously over the last 20 years, fiber optic lines have taken over and transformed long-distance telephone industry. They're a huge part of making the internet available around the world, obviously. Eventually, fiber optic cable is going to replace all of the old copper wires for long-distance calls and internet, which evidently makes it cheaper. Okay, so I'm going to explain how you understand all this now. So to understand how a fiber optic cable works, imagine an immensely long drinking straw of flexible plastic pipe. For example, imagine a pipe that is several miles long. Now imagine that the inside of the surface of the pipe has been coated with a perfect mirror. Now imagine that you are looking into one end of the pipe several miles away at the other end. A friend turns on a flashlight and shines it into the pipe. Because the interior of the pipe is a perfect mirror, the flashlight's light, that's a tongue twister, will reflect off the sides of the pipe. Even though the pipe may twist and curve, you will still see the light at the other end. If your friend turns on the flashlight on and off in Morse code fashion, your friend could communicate with you through this pipe. So that's basically the basics of fiber optic and how it works. Making a cable out of mirrored tube, however, would work, but it would be bulky and would be hard to coat with the interior of the tube with a perfect mirror, how fiber optic works. A real fiber optic cable is therefore made out of glass. The glass is incredibly pure, so that even though it's several miles long, light can still make it through. The glass is drawn into very thin strands with a thickness compared to that of a human hair. So imagine that just your hair is one fiber optic cable. The glass strand is then coated in 2 layers of plastic. By coating the glass in plastic, you get the equivalent of a mirror. The glass strand, this mirror, creates a total internal reflection, just like a perfect mirror coated on the inside of a tube does. You can experience this sort of a reflection with this flashlight and a window in a dark room. If you direct your flashlight through the window at a 90-degree angle, it passes straight through the glass. However, if you shine the flashlight at a very shallow angle, almost parallel to the glass that is, the glass will act as a mirror. You will see the beam reflect off the window and then hit the wall of the inside of the room. Light traveling through fiber bounces at shallow angles like this and stays completely within the fiber. To send telephone conversations through a fiber optic cable, analog voice signals are translated into digital signals. A laser at one end of the pipe switches on and off to send each bit. Modern fiber systems with a single laser can transmit millions of bits per second. That's quite a lot of bits. The laser can turn on and off several billion times per second. The newest systems use multiple lasers with different colors to operate different signals through the same fiber, which is obviously useful considering there's a big demand for it. Modern fiber optic cables can carry a signal quite a distance. Averagely it carries it about 100 kilometers, about 60 miles on a long distance line, and there's an equipment every 40 to 60 miles, or 50 to 60 or however many Ks that is. It picks up the laser signal and retransmits it down the next segment at the full strength, so pretty much you can have the same sort of speed going all the way through, because all it is data turning into light. Now obviously fiber optics were first pretty much, you might have seen them on those fiber optic Christmas trees. You have the one that light up and make pretty colours. I mean, that's probably the first main use of what fiber optic was in your homes, on one of those fiber optic Christmas trees. Just a bit of a fact there. So yeah, that's fiber optic cables. I did take information off the internet and write it into a script. That's why it might have sounded like it was kind of in a script, but I was just reading little bits of notes and I'd rehearsed it a few times, so I wanted it to make it clear to you. So fiber optic cable is obviously very cheap to make and very cheap to lay, and that's why it's being used now to basically form the internet. It's pretty cool how it works as well. For example, there's another thing. If the closer you are to the fiber optic cable, the more it will bounce off the mirror inside the cable. The further you are away, the more direct path the light will take. I don't know, it's just the way it works. But just take that in consideration, it's putting millions of bits per second into light and traveling at light speed, and that's why it's so fast, because the data is turning into light and shoved down the fiber optic cable at light speed. Okay, so that's how things work, episode 1, fiber optic cables. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm watching the building in the background as well. Yeah guys, if you want me to do more, or you have suggestions, or you want to know how other things work, leave a comment, I'll do some research, and then I'll get back to you next time. But apart from that, I quite enjoyed learning about this stuff and sharing it with you as well, into the most simple bite-sized form I can, depending on what the hell it is. If you want me to explain the orbital trajectories of planets, that's probably not going to be a bite-sized chunk for you guys. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.